guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and what happened and what potentially I can see what happens on the chart. We do have this huge breakout, but the market doesn't have to come back down to this previous resistance that we did have around here. I'm going to show you how to use the lower time frames to see where the market actually can come to if we're seeing that the market is actually not coming back down here, because if you're just sitting and waiting for the market to come back down here and retest, we will have to wait forever because the market just might come to this area and then goes up and you missed the trade because you were waiting for this target to get hit. Or we just might have our retest at this area, but why? I'm going to show you where I think the market can come to and react to for us to be able to find our best entries to buy Bitcoin right now. Remember, I am no financial advisor, so please, you need to look everything up yourself first, but please continue watching this video and I'm going to show you where the targets can be. Starting off with Bitcoin, and we are directly going to the daily because we want to see what happened yesterday. And we did have a huge candlestick to the upside, obviously, and we did broke the structure that we're having. We broke the lower high, and right now what we are waiting for is to see where the market potentially can come back down to for us to be able to buy as low as possible. When we're seeing such a huge candlestick that we do have right here, most of the time the market doesn't come back down to this previous lower high that we're having. But what we can do that if the market can do that, but it's such a huge candlestick and it doesn't have to come back down here. So for us to just sit and wait for the market to come to this area, we have different areas that we actually can look at. Right now I'm having the daily. And if we're just zooming out, we can see that we did have a previous resistance right here. And going back in time, you can also see that we did have it around 46,400, somewhere in between there. Having that also as a target to see if the market doesn't come back down here, it can definitely just come back to 46,400. Remember, it's an area, so it can be around that number that I'm talking about. So we might see the market just coming back down and retest this resistance that we're having. So we're not going to confuse ourselves with just waiting and waiting for the market to come to this area, to this level around 44,700, just because that was the resistance that we did break. We did break another resistance also, but it's very good looking at the higher time frames, have a perspective about the whole picture. Then we're going to the 4-hour or whatever time frame you want to look at, but always try to use higher time frames. And if we see that the market is not coming to these areas, we can go back down to a 1-hour chart and see what's going on there. I also took this Fibonacci level on the day. I think I took it from the 4-hour. I took Fibonacci from the low right here that you can see that we did have at 43561 to the high 48138. What I do is that I'm looking at the previous resistance, the closest resistance that we're having. Also, you can see that we have been here as a support. If we see the market coming back down here, but it breaks this level, if the market shows us like, hey, this resistance is not going to hold, we're going to continue down, we don't want to buy if we see that this level is not strong enough. So if we see that this level gets broken, well, I do have my Fibonacci level. So I'm waiting to see if the market comes to the Fibonacci levels and waiting for the market to react to it. And maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't respect the Fibonacci levels, I have my first resistance. Looking back in time, you can see that we did have it as a strong resistance. This was also a lower high. We did have the lower low here too. And we have been here as a support for many times. It was also a higher low going back in time. I'm having 3 targets on the higher time frames to see if the market does come back down, and I want to see each of these levels it's going to come back down to and respect. Maybe it doesn't hold this level too, but then obviously we need to find other ones. I don't have to have so many levels. Remember, we want to have a clean chart. We're starting off with 3 levels. If it's breaking those 2 or the third one, well, then we're just looking for other levels. We can also go back down to the lower time frames and see what's happening here. You can also see that we do have a previous resistance around here. Can make it a little bit smaller, and you can see that the market actually broke it, came back down and retested a lot of times. Right now, it does look like the market is actually gonna break it. And why is that? You can see that we did have this high right here. We did have the high right here. Market came back down, came back up again. And now it seems like the market is gonna on its way down. So remember, on the lower time frames, because we have been going up so much right now, so the market can do its pullback now. And with a pullback, we obviously start to see lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And when it comes to these areas that I'm talking about, and if I want to see the market reacts to it, maybe it starts to make an uptrend. If we start to see that, oh, it does respect it, it starts to do higher highs and higher lows instead, that's when we're reacting to these higher lows. On the lower time frames, we are breaking the market structure around, okay, let's say like that. We broke it, came back up, broke the lower high, we started to do higher highs, higher low, higher high. But if it continues down, that's the same thing that's going to happen on all these other levels. It doesn't matter what level, as long as you're starting to see that the market, oh, it's actually breaking the downtrend to an uptrend. So right now I have to take my entry around the higher low if it's an uptrend. You don't want to trade on the higher high. If you do that, if you're trading on the higher high right here, well, when the market comes back down, well, it's not going to be so much fun for you. If we see the market coming back down now, because as I told you, we're so high up right now, the market has just spiked up to the upside. Looking to the lower time frames, and also use these levels around here, because you can find entries every day on the market. You just need to know where the market actually where the market respects and how it looks when it does it. And the best thing that you can do is that if you see on the lower time frames support and resistance zones, because we do have different support and resistance zones, it's on the lower time frames and on the higher time frames. Obviously the higher time frames is always more respected, because we do have the support right here. You see that on the higher time frames is this support. It just does, but the candlestick looks different, right? So these two candlesticks that we're having, that's the wick on the 1 hour. See, the market came back up and retested the support. So what we potentially can see right now, the market can come back down here again and retest it and then start to go to the upside. If the market now decides to come back down and retest this previous support that we have, we're looking back on the lower time frames. If we see it's respected, starts to make higher highs and higher lows, we just might see the market continue to the upside. Or if it's breaking it, we're doing the pullback, but we can find our entry. Even if we are in a pullback, we can still find our entry, but we want to see the market starting to do lower highs and lower lows. And when you are taking a trade on a pullback, obviously you need to think about all of these levels that the market actually can come back to, because we did break market structure. We are on our way up. We just might come back down again. But as looking at the market right now, it seems like, because on the high time frames, we came back down and retested the weekly Fibonacci level. Oh, it's so many things on the chart right now. It's not good. We came back down and retested it. And if we're having a weekly candlestick that engulfing the previous one, I could definitely start to see the market going up again. You see, we did have the higher high, we had the pullback, and right now, if the market is going to continue to the upside and follow market structure, we are going to break the 51,000, it's even 52,000. So it looks good. It looks very good. I hope you're happy, guys. Everyone wants the market to go up, obviously, and here we go. But right now, we just have to wait for the market to come back down to our favor, because we want to buy as low as possible. So we need to know about these levels on the high time frames and see how the market reacts to them. If we don't see huge movements to the downside, we can definitely use the lower time frames, support and resistance zones, and see if it's actually will respect it, and then we're just buying. Because you can see right here, the market just goes up, and we can just look, okay, see here right now. So we did have a small, this is hard, but we can just see where the market reacted to. We can take this level and we can take this level, because you can see that the market came back down. We did have a bearish candlestick that respected some area, came back up, respected again. So if we're just going back in time and see where the market reacted to, you can see that it did react to this support and to this previous resistance. You can also see that we did respect this resistance right here, even if it's just in between everything. Remember, it's always zones. You can see we were here as a support before. The market closed below 44893 one time. You had a huge candlestick to the downside. Oh, look! The market was here as a support, resistance. The market came back. I mean, come on, guys. I really always go back in time and see what the market is doing. I mean, come on, guys. Look at this. The market reacts to these levels. You need to know the levels. We can try this one. And obviously, we already have it, a box here, but we can go back in time. Let's go back. Oh no, we were here as a support and resistance. Can do it like this just to make sure. We can have these two because it's the zone. Respected, support. Oh my God, we were here as a resistance. I'm so shocked. Oh, again? You see, guys, the market respects it. It always come back to these levels and respect it. So if we're looking at these levels, or we see a rejection right here and you're confused, like, why is the market reacting to these places? Like, this is something that you need to understand. Market comes back to levels, but maybe the level will not hold. That's when we are looking at how the candlestick is going against these. We can just look at what the market has been reacting to, because we can see right here that we've had a lot of touches right here. The market reacted to it. You can see we have a resistance, broke it, retested it, came back down 3 times. Let's go back, guys, and see what's happening. Respected it a lot of times, came back here, almost had a wick to it. Oh, we retested again? No. Resistance, support. Broke out, retest. Come on, guys. Look at this. I mean, look at this. See? It's been here so many times. When we're taking a trade, when the market is going up so much, we need to know why the market is reacting to this. This is very important. You can see right here on the higher time frames, we are now on the 4-hour. We can see that the market is respecting this previous resistance that we're having right here too. Going back in time, it was a support, a resistance. So what potentially could happen right now? I mean, anything can happen. The market can just continue to the upside, but using these zones that I'm talking about, and right now we do have this lower low. So if the market does break it can totally do that. We have new levels because the market gave us a new level. If we don't have a level at the present time, that's when we're going back to see, okay, why is this market react? Why do we have a pullback? Because this is a small pullback. It's still a pullback. What's happening? Going back in time. Oh, okay. This is a previous resistance, also a previous support. That's why the market is breaking, retested. We just might see the market break it, come back up again. We have a level, we have a resistance, the market breaks it, retests, continue to the upside. We have the higher low. If the market now starts to pull back, and no panicking in pullbacks, we need pullbacks in the market, that's what the market is doing. We just might see a breakout, retest, and then we have to look after these levels around here. If it breaks that level, we have this level. At the higher time frames, we do have this previous resistance right here. It's very tight though. It's really tight. But this is very good to see. If the market respects it, you have your confirmation, what you want the market to do against these levels. I mean, why not? We have the higher high, we have a higher low, even if we're on the 4-hour. Right now, the market can just consolidate between these levels. This level, the resistance at 48392, or the support 47685, or we just might see the market slowly continue to the downside, and then we're having our movement to the upside again, making our second higher high, because we need the higher low right now to see if we can actually find a good entry. But how far the pullback is going to be, hey, I don't know. But I would definitely not buy the market right now. We need to see the market come back down a little bit more. Or if the market continues to the upside, as I told you, we can see that we're having the resistance on the higher time frames. I would want the market to break to the upside. Either break to the upside, comes back down, retest. Or if the market comes back down, retest it. And then I start to see potential buy opportunities. Remember, always buy at the lower high or whatever confirmations you're having. Looking at the higher time frames, combining it with the lower time frames, these are the areas that I'm having what I could potentially see the market do. Right now, for myself, we're just in between. We're just consolidating. So for me, I need the market to either break it or come back down and retest it. Or we just might see continuation to the downside. And if we do that, the market could come back down to this level right here, around 46,000, as I was talking about. And then we're just going to see how the market reacts to that level, if it's going to respect it or not. Or if it's breaking it, comes back down to 44,793, respect it, and then starts to go up to the upside. So remember now, guys, I need the pullback. I hope you also need the pullback for us to be able to find good buy opportunities on Bitcoin. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if there's something you're wondering. Subscribe to my channel, because I'm going through these pairs every single day. If there are pairs that you want me to look at, I can totally do that. Continue to have a great weekend, and we see each other on the next episode.